welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Today we're working on the redneck truck. Yep, that's right. We have it strapped down to the chassis dyno, our dyno jet chassis dyno, which is pretty much the industry standard for chassis dynos. We're pretty happy to have this piece of equipment in here, and today we're using it for some of our own stuff. We're going to try and make this little pickup truck operate correctly. I'm having a few little problems, you know, like spitting the rod bearings out of it, which was probably my fault for not changing the engine oil in it. If you haven't seen that, you can look at that video when I did my first burnout in this thing. But it is what it is. Sometimes you make mistakes. I own up to my mistakes. It is what it is. Sometimes it happens. At the end of the day, you learn from your mistakes and you move on. Today we've got Eric Hargett up here doing some tuning. He had to run over to the store to grab something to link with this ancient Phytech Ultimate LS system, but hey, it works. Ultimately down the line, we're going to be pulling all of the Phytech stuff off of this in place of the new ACES EFI system for the Ultimate LS. So it's going to be a pretty cool little program, but I wanted to know what this thing makes as a baseline, and then we're going to compare it to what it makes after we make some changes. I will be adding pyros, probably changing the exhaust system in this a little bit. I'd like to put the O2s before the turbo instead of after the turbo, because it'll be better for the computer. Along with yeah, a new intake and controllers, pyros, ignition controller. It'll actually have a transmission controller, but this thing's still a manual at this point. And I kind of want it to stay a manual because I like shifting gears sometimes. So we'll see what happens with that. But we may end up doing another vehicle with a LS swap, because I got a 65 Pontiac sitting out back that I'd like to do probably a 5.3 LS turbo and 4L, probably 4L 80E, because that'll make a pretty cool car. But at any rate, let's see what this thing does on the dyno. I thought I'd show you this little guy. This is a oil line restrictor for my turbo on the 1992 Chevrolet Silverado. This little pill is going to go right there to reduce my oil flow. So after I replace this pill, I'm expecting my oil pressure on my dash gauge to increase, because the feed for the turbo and the feed for my dash gauge are taken right off the oil pressure or the oil cooler line boss, right next to one another. So I'm going to guess this little guy is going to fix that, and it's going to be a quick little deal. All I got to do is take off this little line here, and that line's full bore and that guy's full bore. So we're going to restrict it down. And hopefully that'll be an easy win. Let's see if I am correct in my analysis. I think I'll be correct. I gotta find an extra engine stand. Anybody got an extra engine stand laying around they're not using? I don't feel like spending $100 on a new one, but might have to. We'll see. I did put an O2 sensor in the stack for my gauge. I have another O2 sensor coming for the Go EFI. And oh golly, forgot about that. 7 psi more oil pressure than I did before. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like when it's hot. Maybe it won't change since I did have to put rod bearings in this. So, the little redneck truck has come a long way. We did hit a road stop or a road block because the O2 sensor is not reading correctly. Actually, neither of the O2 sensors were reading correctly, and it was adding a bunch of fuel as soon as the O2 sensor went full lean, and then it doesn't communicate. So that's what I was seeing driving down the road. I was seeing basically we had 2 bad O2 sensors in the thing. They probably were water damaged from sitting with a stack, maybe in the rain a time or two. It happens. So I had an O2 sensor that I was able to change out for the AEM module, so that sensor and that gauge now works correctly. I did not have one here with the correct 4.9 connector, so I ordered one. It'll be here in a couple days. Eric will be back in a couple of weeks. We'll run some more tests. He said it's fine to run around and drive. It's much better than it was. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So the fact that it didn't spit the rod bearings out of it again when I was at the Good Guys show is actually pretty impressive. I also have my pill. Eric did verify that the restrictor here will stop my oil from coming out the front of the turbo. The map sensor is questionable Chinese component, so we may end up getting a new map sensor. Although when the ACES system comes, that one actually comes with a map sensor for its system. What else we got? I think that's about it for now. If you enjoy watching the dyno content, let us know down in the comments. We've got a couple others we're going to be putting up on here, namely the AMC AMX. The 79 Spirit AMX is going to come up here next after we're done tinkering with this thing. But if you're curious, we haven't even made a full pull with this yet. And we pulled 330 at the wheels for horsepower and 400 for torque. So it's not really breaking any records, but which for what it is fine. That's at the wheels. That's pretty cool. So next thing for this is going to be O2 sensor and some more tuning, and then we'll start playing with something else, and we'll just drive this thing, run it around, and do burnouts in places legally. Do burnouts at places. Well, have a great day, guys. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. Have a safe day. We'll see you on the next one.